everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about all the books that I read last week. So last week was the very beginning. I love when it works out this way. It was March 1st through the 7th, and so it's all March, which means it's middle grade March, it's March Mystery Madness, and it is, I'm not sure exactly when it happens actually, but it is Let's Get Graphic readathon, and so there's some middle grade, there's some graphic novels, there's some mysteries. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So my daughters and I are reading through the Nancy Drew Clue Crew series. It's a spin-off series of when she was 8 years old. And so we read numbers 23 and 24, which our library does not have. Really random. But my sister lives in the San Francisco area, and her Libby had them on ebook. So we read 23, which is Babysitting Bandit, and then the Princess Mix-Up Mystery, which is 24. And then our library had 25, which is a Buggy Breakout, and 26, which is Camp Creepy. And I really like these books. As the series goes on, like the surrounding characters are getting a little bit brattier, and some, like a lot of the cases in the beginning were just like misunderstandings, coincidences, things like that. Now there's actual people like with malintent, and I don't love that, but not all of them are that way. And these are all 96 pages, and we just have the best time reading them. There's 40 of them, so we're going to keep on keeping on, and yes, really enjoying this. Then I attempted to read The Whole World's Crazy. This is the first in the Amelia Rules books. And so my daughters and I, part of their like winter bingo board for the library was to go to a different library, like a different branch than we normally do. So we went to that one, and I let them pick 10, and I browsed the middle grade too. And so this was just a random grab, and I did not read very far into it. It's just about this girl named Amelia and her friends, and she is awful to her mother. Her friends are awful to each other. They're all just really, really bratty, and I was not into this, so I DNF'd it. And then one that I probably should have DNF'd, Grace Needs Space. This is a graphic novel about a girl who is basically, I guess, going from one space station to another to like have time with her other mom or something, who she calls Ba, and there's like or B-A, I don't know. But like, and she goes and realizes that she doesn't really have time for her. And so she's on her own a lot. And like, that's the whole point. And this was just like, the relationships didn't make sense. The space element didn't make sense. There was a lot of science that went above my head. And overall, I just didn't like this. So, kind of a bummer on the solo middle grades and on the Let's Get Graphic. Like I said, I'm not sure. I think it's just a week or maybe even a weekend. But I got a couple more graphic novels, so we're going to just keep on keeping on. But now let's talk about the adult reads. So I had Behind Closed Doors by Carol Wire. So this is one of my books. So I caved last month, or somewhere in the middle of the month last month, and got Kindle Unlimited, and this was on Kindle Unlimited audio. And this is a thriller about a woman named Stacy, and her ex-husband comes and is like, hey, my daughter's missing, I need help. And they're divorced now, but she of course really loves the girl who was her stepdaughter. And so he comes asking for her help because she was kidnapped as a tween, and has I guess a lot of experience with this and will know what to do more than he does. And so the whole time they're trying to figure out what happened to her. And I will say, like, it's a 3-star book for me. As I get more and more removed from it, I remember less and less. And, like, the conclusion was fine. The pacing got a little bit slow. I will say, like, I'm probably going to keep this. It was a strong 3 stars, very straightforward. Just trying to figure out there's a lot of red herrings, and then we figure it out in the end, and it wraps up nicely. So, entertaining, but not anything riveting, and a little slow in the middle. However, this one was so good. Millicent Glenn's Last Wish by Tori Whitaker. This one, I would say, is like a strong 4 stars, if not 4.5. Like, this is about a woman named Millicent. She is in her 90s, or she's like 90, and she lives in the same town as her granddaughter, and her daughter is somewhat estranged, and her daughter decides, like, her daughter's now at retirement age, and so her daughter comes to live in the town with Millicent and the granddaughter. And like, the daughter's always been kind of a wild child, so there's a lot of rebellion that has happened in her lifetime. But now Millicent's last wish is for her daughter to kind of understand her. And so the book goes back to like the 40s and 50s when she's having babies and just the life she's had. And oh my gosh, this was like painful. So do not read this unless you are in a spot where you can like emotionally handle it. I had to like pause this a couple times and take a little woosah because it deals with death of a child. It deals with like wrongful medical things. Like it is just, oh my gosh, it is so good. And it's told, like I said, mostly in the historical timeline. There is present day, which I think is 2015. And yeah, this was just so good. There's a lot of course, like misunderstandings between mother and daughter that get reconciled. And it was just so good. Then we've got like a strong motherhood theme this week, unintentionally. Just What Kind of Mother Are You by Paula Daly. So this is about a woman who she was supposed to pick her friend's kid up from school and she didn't because her kid was sick. And she's just a frazzled mother who has way too much going on and dropped a ball. And now her friend's kid has gone missing. So the book is trying to figure out what happened to the missing kid. And this also was entertaining as I was reading it, and I like the writing style. It's definitely suburban mama drama, which you guys know I love. There's a lot of red herrings. The ending, though, happens so abruptly, and it's so, like, kind of convoluted that I had to listen to it twice because I was like, did I get everything? Like, who's who and what? And then the main character that we follow is Lisa. She is the mom who didn't pick up her friend's kid, and so we follow her, and that's in first person. And then we also follow a female detective on the case, and hers is in third person. And I felt like that was just kind of like jarring and weird. And we also get interspersed, like there's a serial rapist going around, and so there's also interspersed like chapters from their perspective that I didn't really feel were necessary. So overall, like I feel like this was entertaining, but kind of a cluster. And so again, like a strong 3 stars. Then we were going not so great mystery and then really good women's fiction. Not so great mystery and then really great women's fiction. So Secret Daughter, you guys are going to see it on Wednesday. I just hauled this, and as well as What Kind of Mother Are You from the library book sale haul. And this was a completely random grab, and I'm so glad I did. So this book opens up with 2 different couples, one in India. It's in like the mid 80s. One couple is in India and they're kind of living in poverty, and the other couple is very affluent, living in the San Francisco area. So the couple in India are having their second baby. Their first baby was a girl, and they knew they could not afford the dowry, but the husband took it upon himself to end that child's life. And so this mother is mama bearing as she is about to have this second baby. They don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but she is going to fight like heck for this baby. So the baby is another girl. And so she knows they have to give it up for adoption because they can't afford a dowry. Girls are not the desired gender in India at this time. So she gives the baby to an orphanage, and then the couple from San Francisco adopts her. And we're following the life of this girl, and with interspersed chapters of like both sets of parents, bio parents and adopted parents. And this book was so good. Like it was so poignant and so much conversation around motherhood. And again, that like that tension between adolescent teens and girls and their mothers, which I am so scared for because I have 4 girls, but and just how we don't know our mothers. And once we do realize who they are as adults and how hard motherhood is, it's so eye-opening. But this had a lot of conversation around adoption. It had conversation around the Indian culture. It had conversation around gender norms and gender roles in both cultures. And it had this young girl, like through the eyes of a girl. So it ends in sometime in the 2000s. So she's in her 20s, and she goes to India. Because the couple in San Francisco, the dad is Indian, and his family's all in India, and she's always wanted to know that side of herself, and her parents have always been kind of cagey about it and kind of hush-hush, as she knows she's adopted, but she doesn't know the Indian culture, and they're kind of trying to protect her from that because of the way gender is dealt with there. So they're trying, like, I understood the perspective of the parents trying to protect their daughter and trying to, like, have her just revel in the joy of the more that she was given. But I also understand as an adopted child, wanting to know yourself, like the other part of yourself, and feeling rejected because your parents aren't giving you that, and just like I said, the hardships of motherhood, both from the perspective of the mothers that have to give away their babies, like that just is awful. And she was describing like the day that she got to spend with her newborn. And gosh, I don't have a newborn, but I have a 4-month-old, and just looking at her and thinking about that, this is another one that I had to like pause because it was like, whew, woosah. So, we had some greats, we had some not so greats, but I am in a good spot with reading. So let me know if you're going to pick up any of these books after hearing about them, or if you have read them, and how your month's going. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.